Hey guys, Pete Weintraub, permanent weight loss specialist here. Welcome to the Weight Loss by Pete podcast. This is being simulcast on my YouTube channel as well as through my podcast, which you can find and are probably listening to, if you're listening, on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Today, I want to go over the inverse of a traditional saying here in the United States. Maybe it's available in other parts of the world as well. And that is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the traditional saying. I actually believe that the inverse is true. So if it's broken, fix it. And when it comes to what we've been taught since we were children, at least over the last 60 years, it's that if you want to lose weight and if you want to improve your health, you have to do two simple things. You need to eat less and exercise more. And then we were taught things like the food pyramid, and that introduced a sort of hierarchical structure in visual format so we could understand what seemed to take precedence in our diet. Unfortunately, that precedence, refined carbohydrates like grains, has led to the huge upticks in obesity, type 2 diabetes, various forms of cancer, and heart disease over the last 60 years. But that's neither here nor there. But that whole mantra, that whole way of thinking, to eat less, exercise more, is very broken. It really is. And it actually has nothing to do with your journey on, and it'll help you see some early results, because if you're worrying about that, you're reducing your calories, you're reducing your portions, and you are working out, you will see some initial positive effects, maybe over a month, maybe over 2 months tops. After that, though, you're going to plateau. For me, it lasted a little longer, but I believe it was because I was a teenager. I was towards the end of my teens. I was 19 years old when I started my 100-pound weight loss journey. I had just finished gaining 70 pounds instead of 3 months my sophomore year of college. And I lost 40 pounds in the first 4 months of my 100-pound weight loss journey, doing just that, eating less and exercising more. The problem was, after that happened, I ended up plateauing for close to 3 years. So through the rest of my tenure in college and entering the workforce, I plateaued for 3 whole years. And it was very frustrating, and I was very stubborn, and it was really just because any health class, I took a health class in college, I took one in high school, I had one in middle school, I had one in elementary school, and we were taught this sporadically throughout our science classes and all this. So throughout, 21 years of schooling, or not 21 years, 17, 18 years of schooling leading up to that point, this whole notion of reducing calories, eating less, exercising more to improve health, to lose weight, those two things were the ticket. And unfortunately, it didn't work for me for a very, very long time. So I want to show you an infographic here that I developed. I call it the permanent weight loss pyramid. And here it is for you guys. So basically here, you can see me here in the lower left-hand corner. Hello. If you're not, it's very simple, guys. If you're just listening, I'm going to lay out what it is. Basically, it's a triangle. It's a pyramid structure. And just like the food pyramid, if you know what that is, or you're used to a pyramid showing a visual of, again, hierarchies of importance, basically the base or the foundation here is the most crucial piece. Then on top of that is the next most important piece. So it's not as important as the base, but it's still pretty important. Then the thing on top of it is important, but not as important as the two things down below it, but it's more important than the thing above it, and so on. So we can have, obviously, a limited amount of levels, but each level is smaller, and as each level lessens in size, it lessens in importance. So in the permanent weight loss pyramid, I have 4 different categories. So starting at the base on the bottom, the most important component isn't even really physical. It's mental. It's your mindset. How are you approaching this? And I kind of touched on this in my message yesterday. Are you the type of person that's looking to lose as much weight as possible, as quickly as possible, without any ramifications, any recourse for your body, for any skin, stretch marks? You do put a lot of stress on your body when you lose a lot of weight, especially if you yo-yo pretty significantly. So you lose a lot of weight, then you gain a lot of weight, and so on and so forth. So that's number one. So you need to be in this for the long haul. Your mindset has to be, you're in this for the long haul. Obviously, yes, you want to lose the amount of weight you want to lose, but after that, you want to keep it off. You want to lose weight for good. You have to have that mindset going in. And you also have to have a forgiving and patient mindset with yourself. You are going to slip up along the way. It's not just going to be a walk in the park. There are going to be issues that pop up both intended in like you had a cheat meal or a cheat weekend or a cheat week and you fell off the wagon knowingly, and then unintentionally. So maybe you didn't know that something you were eating or drinking was detrimental to your weight loss goals. So you plateau for a while, you're not sure why. And then a professional like myself would point it out. And you're like, oh, okay, I need to eliminate that. So you need to be patient with yourself and then forgiving. So if you do slip up, particularly when you slip up knowingly, you got to be forgiving with yourself. Look, we're human beings. We're flawed emotional creatures. We're going to knowingly make mistakes all the time. The most important thing is to stay consistent with your discipline as often as possible. That's why a lot of people like to talk about the 80-20 rule, because 80% of the time you're staying on track with your nutrition, you're getting good quality sleep, you're working out regularly, and then there are sometimes, maybe throughout the week, maybe throughout the month, whatever it is for you, everybody's different, where you do kind of fall off the wagon a bit, but you always get back on. That's the most important piece. So your mindset has to be in the right place. Secondarily, up here, we've got nutrition. That's the next rung, right above mindset. And look, you can have the best exercise program in the world, but if your nutrition sucks, you are never going to see your short-term results, and obviously, you're never going to sustain them. So nutrition is very simple, guys. I have a quick sentence. I took one from CrossFit founder Greg Glassman, and I tweaked it a little to be a little more specific. So his sentence was to eat meats, vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. My sense is to eat meats, non-starchy vegetables, raw nuts and seeds, low glycemic fruit, and no added sugar. That's really it. If you're able to memorize that sentence and apply it to every dietary decision you make, or at least 80 to 90% of them, you're going to be very, very well off. All right, so stop worrying so much about quality. The eat less thing is bullshit. If you're eating high quality foods like the ones I just described, then guess what? Your body will take care of the portions and calories in and of themselves. All right, the next rung on the permanent weight loss pyramid is sleep. So sleep precedes fitness in terms of importance. And a lot of people don't know this. In fact, I didn't know this up until about a year ago. And sleep is vitally important because it's crucial to the regulation of our hormone levels. So if we don't get consistent quality sleep, our body produces an excess amount of the hormone cortisol, otherwise known as the stress hormone. This hormone has been linked in many, many, many studies over the last several decades to weight gain and retention. And also, just not getting quality sleep, you're going to be hungry, you're going to feel that you need fuel to sustain yourself. And while I recommend a lipolytic or fat-burning diet, which is high fat, moderate protein, and low carb, we're going to crave quick fix, quick energy. And what is that? Comes in the form of either caffeine, which I don't personally have a problem with. Obviously, you can always have too much of anything, but caffeine I don't really have an issue with, but really it's sugar. We're going to want simple sugars, something that's going to get into our system quick and give us a quick spike. So I don't know if you have noticed, but when you're sleepy and you didn't get a good night's sleep, or maybe you haven't slept well during a short period of time, whether it's a few days or over the course of a week or 2 weeks, you're apt to make worse decisions because you want something that's going to quickly pick you up and give you more energy so you continue to semi-function throughout your day. So lastly, then on the rung is fitness. So obviously getting some consistent quality exercise in. So the reason I want to share that with you is because, look, if you're watching this, if you're interested in losing weight, if you've obviously not hit your goal yet, or you've never been able to sustain once you've hit your goal, and you've always yo-yoed and gone up and down with your weight drastically, there's a reason for that. What we've been taught in school over the last 60 years, so throughout your whole tenure of schooling, whether it was just through high school, whether you didn't even get through high school, whether you got a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree, or maybe even a graduate, a doctorate, whatever, what we've been taught about what we need to do to get healthy and lose weight is backwards. It's wrong. It's broken. It's under misguided pretenses. I truly do believe, and I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, I wasn't alive. I wasn't around back when the first scientists and then the first bureaucrats really brought this in to government's dietary, fitness, exercise guidelines. But I truly believe that this notion, this mantra of eat less, exercise more came from a good place. It was to try and help people. Unfortunately, it's hurt far more people than it's helped. And the true means of the matter is that when I finally overcame my 3-year plateau, it was because I got turned on to CrossFit and paleo. And what those both taught me was that it's not about the quantity of movement. It's not about the quantity of food. It's about the quality of movement and the quality of food. Doing high intensity functional movements executed at high intensity functional movements. That's the definition of CrossFit. And then in terms of nutrition, it's just focusing again on quality. So meats, non-starchy vegetables, raw nuts and seeds, low glycemic fruit, little starch, have a couple less, no added sugar. Focusing on the quality, not worrying so much about the quantity. And when you do that, your body responds beautifully. It's how we're designed biologically. That's what we respond best to. And that's why both myself and many of my clients have seen great, consistent results on my program. So I hope you found this helpful. So guys, if you're looking to break the mold, you want to fix what you've been doing, then I definitely think you should join the private webinar I have going on. It's going to be happening this coming Monday, January 29th, 2018 at 8 p.m. at night, Eastern Standard Time. If you're in a weird time zone, if you're from somewhere in the world where you're not going to be able to attend because you're going to be asleep, you're going to be at work, whatever, that's okay. Register anyway. You're going to receive a confirmation email, and it's going to ask you to email me personally and ask me your specific questions so I can prepare the webinar tailored to you and the other attendees. So please make sure that you send in your question. And even if you can't make it, I'll send you a recording afterwards, and I'll answer your question in the recording so that when you can view it, you'll get your answer, and I'll answer it sufficiently for you. So again, that link's in the comments down, or the description, I should say, down below. And also do me one last favor. If you like this video, if you like this channel, whether it's here on YouTube or whether you like my podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher, please subscribe. And I'm looking to do one of these every Monday through Friday and get one out to you so you guys have some good quality content, not just in terms of information, but motivation, different ways to think about things so that you can finally be successful on your health and weight loss journey. So again, I'm Pete Weintraub. I'm a permanent weight loss specialist. Thanks so much for watching or listening. I'm signing off, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.